Hello, Miami University and all Oxford community. I'm Cashay Roberts.
And I'm Zoltan Feldman, your co-host for tonight's show. Thank you for tuning in to Miami Television News. Best Buddies hosted their annual fashion show with models with special needs and models without disabilities. The inclusive fashion show took place on November 10th at 2 p.m. The Oxford Observer got the insight on the show uptown at Brick Street.
And now let's bring in MTN's Patrick Geshin to discuss what it is a busy time of year in Miami sports.
Well, Cashay, it's by far the busiest time of year for Miami athletics as both the fall and winter sports seasons are in full swing. We'll commence on the football field where major storylines are shaping up for the Miami football team. The Redhawks are now in sole possession of first place in the MAC East Division with their 24-21 win at Ohio last Wednesday after Sam Sloman kicked a go-ahead field goal in a tie game with 3:48 left in the fourth quarter. The Redhawks have 3 games remaining on the schedule this season, including a Wednesday night matchup at home against the Bowling Green Falcons this week. Now, if Miami wins 2 of their final 3 regular season games, the Redhawks will clinch a berth to the MAC championship game in Detroit for the first time since 2010. If they win 1, Miami will become bowl eligible. It all starts Wednesday night against Bowling Green, the kickoff at 8 p.m. Eastern. Now to the ice, where the Miami hockey team met some adversity this past weekend with a pair of losses in their first NCHC series of the year at North Dakota. 7-1 was Friday night's score behind 6 unanswered Fighting Hawks goals and a late tally from Miami's Noah Jordan. Saturday night's affair saw a much closer contest as the Redhawks fell in a 5-4 game in front of nearly 11,000 fans at Ralph Engelstad Arena. League play continues this weekend for Miami with a duo of games at home against defending national champion Minnesota Duluth. Puck drop is scheduled for 7:05 p.m. on both Friday and Saturday nights at Goggin. Well, another major sports storyline has developed on campus this week with the Miami field hockey team and the now MAC champion Redhawks are headed to the NCAA tournament for the 3rd straight year. Miami will play the number 17 ranked Stanford Cardinals this Wednesday at 2 p.m. in Stanford, California in NCAA first round action. The Redhawks beat the Cardinals in the NCAA first round 2 seasons ago, and if Miami is successful Wednesday afternoon, they will play the Tar Heels of North Carolina on Friday. And in other sports notes, the Miami volleyball team wraps up their regular season with games against Bowling Green and Western Michigan this week. They are 2 wins in front of the Falcons atop the MAC East Division with the conference playoffs beginning next Thursday.
All right, Patrick, thanks for the sports update. Last week was Election Day across America and also within many organizations at Miami. Miami Activities and Programming, also known as MAP on campus, elected a new executive board for the spring semester as some seniors get ready to graduate. Not to mention the impeachment process President Trump just started November 13th.
In other campus news, as spring semester is just around the corner, students have been registering for classes over the past few weeks. If you were unable to register for a class you needed, open registration begins November 18th.
Who would have known Miami was home to Miss Ohio's Caroline Grace Williams? MTN's Hannah Horsington caught up with Williams, who was current member of the admission staff and gearing up for the Miss America competition in December.
I'm Caroline Grace Williams, and I'm an admission counselor here. So I work with students and I recruit them and then read their application and then help them through the process of applying to Miami and then hopefully encourage them enough to attend Miami. I was a tour guide here, so I already was working with prospective students when I went here, and I loved the people that you met and all the connections you made, so it's kind of fun to just extend that a little bit further and then make it your full-time job.
Awesome. So is that kind of what inspired you and made you decide that that's what you wanted to do for your job?
Yes, so I actually had a weird way of getting here. So I graduated and then I moved to New York City because I was a theater major and auditioned in the city, actually took a theater contract in Iowa. Cool place. The corn was great. Decided that I loved theater, but that lifestyle just wasn't what I wanted right now. So I had been in contact with the admission office, and before I graduated, I had kind of left the door open and said, hey, if there are any positions open, I would really like to know about them because I loved being a tour guide. And again, it was just kind of a field I wanted to explore a little bit more. So there ended up being a position that opened up in October, I think, after I graduated. So I graduated in May. And it just like all seemed to work out. It worked out perfectly, and it's one of those things you look back and you know, everything really does happen for a reason. So that's how I ended up starting to work here. And then I've been here for about a year and a half. So it's really fun. I enjoy it, and you meet a lot of fun people.
So now, changing it up a little bit to the Miss Ohio competition. Could you tell us a little bit about what that was like, what it was like being one of the older contestants, and just kind of your experience?
So I was the oldest contestant. I told the girls to call me Nana, which is like kind of a joke, and then it really caught on, and like everybody started calling me Nana, but that was fine because it was funny. And so this is my second time competing for Miss Ohio. So the first time that I competed, it's really stressful as a new candidate because there are just, like anything, even like coming to college as your very first year in school, there are so many things that you just aren't expecting, and there's just a lot of new things coming in. So as much as you try to prepare, it's hard the first year. And so I had a lot of older girls that mentored me when I first entered the program, so the role of Nana was kind of giving back and mentoring the new girls as well. So it was kind of fun, but also I think something that people don't really realize is even though you can start competing for Miss Ohio when you're 18, this is really a mature job. I mean, I'm on the road traveling probably 3 to 4 days a week, and you are by yourself 99% of the time. You are making connections by yourself, calling up senators, governors. That is really a job where life experience only benefits you. So even though I went to compete for Miss Ohio before, I'm so glad that I had all the work experience and life experience that I do now, because it really is to your benefit when you go to compete for Miss Ohio.
Awesome. Okay, could you tell us a little bit about your Caroline's Crisis Call program?
So we all are required to take on a social impact issue when you compete for Miss Ohio or go on to Miss America. And it's just an issue that you want to advocate for and that is personal to you. So my passion for personal safety really started because I was in a car wreck about a year ago. And I was 3 different cars. I was in the middle. I was hit dead on. I hit my head on the steering wheel, had to get stitches. Somehow walked out of that car with only a head wound and some minor injuries through my legs and stuff. I don't know how, by the grace of God, I made it out, but I knew that after that experience, I had to tell my story. So basically what I learned is I knew to call 911 in an emergency, but I didn't know anything else. So I created the FACTS of calling 911, which is an acronym, and I have a little card if you want one after. So F stands for fake calls are illegal and can result in jail time. A lot of people don't understand the severity of a prank call to 911, but it actually can be charged as a felony. That's wasting a lot of resources, time, and money that the state needs to be saving for a real emergency. Second, assign individuals to help you. So this is something that happened to me. I didn't know that when you're in an emergency, even if you are the most injured or the emergency has happened to you, you're not the only person in shock. I learned in retrospect that you're not the only one who's in shock. So in that situation, you're actually supposed to assign people to help you. So you're supposed to look them in the eye, point, and say, you call 911, you do CPR, you go find help, because everybody's in shock. So when you give them that task and you really, tell them exactly what to do, then they get the communication. And then C, calm, cool, collected. So stay calm. Easier said than done. But if you are injured, you could send your body into more shock and cause further injuries if you are not calm. And then T, thorough. So be thorough on the phone when you're talking to the 911 agent. And you need to know where to get, where they are going to send people, stay on the line until somebody has arrived, or they tell you it's okay to hang up. A lot of times they will only tell you it's okay to hang up when an emergency vehicle arrives, but also stay on the line if you call by mistake. So even if you see your phone's calling, go ahead and let it ring through and tell them that it was a mistake, because if not, they're obligated to call you back, and that could be wasting time that's spent on a real emergency. So always stay on the line no matter what the situation. So you can actually hit the side button of your iPhone 3 to 5 times depending on the model. It automatically calls 911, and it sends a text to your emergency contacts with your location, it drops a pin, and it says emergency SOS, Caroline has called 911 from this location, and the emergency location will update too. So this is a really cool tool. I don't know why many people don't know about it. I mean, I had kind of known about it. I used it in the wreck. I didn't realize that the text went out, the medical ID happened. I learned all of that through my personal situation.
How are you feeling about the Miss America competition?
Yes, so nervous, but also excited. I actually just got back from orientation. So we had our orientation just like you do for college. We all went to a site together, had some information sessions, and then this is unlike college, but we filmed some segments for the upcoming telecast of Miss America. And so it was so much fun. We actually went to Orlando, and we went to Universal Studios because Miss America is going to be on NBC, so NBC and Universal are partners. It was really fun, so we got to go on a lot of different rides and film some different segments and get some information. And then it's also really fun to meet all of the other girls involved in the program. So there are 51 girls because we include District of Columbia. So it's really fun because these people really have the same ambition and drive as you. They've gotten to the same point. And so you automatically have this great connection with all of them. And also, I am such a sucker for women empowerment because I went to an all-girls high school. I was in a sorority. I love having that all-girls group. So I love having that within Miss America too. But yeah, I'm excited. I am starting to prepare as much as I can. I think the biggest thing is just keeping up with current events and making sure that your opinion is formulated and you have an educated answer to back that up because, you know, Miss Ohio, Miss America should just be aware of the world around her.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Well, thank you so much for coming and talking to us today. Once again, this is Miss Ohio, Caroline Grace Williams.
Hi.
And for MTN, I'm Hannah Horsington.
Mental health is a concern that more than 50% of college students admitted to struggling with during school, reported from College Stats. MTN's Jonathan Myro and Bella Zarlengo covered Kappa Alpha Theta's second annual mental health awareness event that took place all over campus to uplift students. The sorority partnered with organizations such as the Body Project, Active Minds, and Never Walk Alone to promote positive mental health within the Miami community.
I really wanted it to be as all-encompassing as possible. I invited Active Minds, Body Project, and Never Walk Alone, which are 3 student orgs, mental health student orgs, to participate in tabling. I really wanted to get the word out about the things that they offer, because at the end of the day, the mental health committee for Theta is for Theta. We can do as much outreach as we want, but our primary focus is on our members. But I wanted to promote not only to our girls, but to everybody who was passing through that these amazing student orgs exist and have resources that should be tapped into. And then as well as student counseling services, they were super supportive in the planning and execution of our day. And so I really wanted to promote all the amazing things that they offer. And then as well as the group fitness department at the RAC, that's where I work. And so I was just fitness and mental health kind of go hand in hand. So we had all kinds of fun tabling activities all day long, but then the main event was Colleen, and she was incredible. It was the best speaker I've ever been to. It's important just to start the conversation. And I think when people speak up, people listen, and that was just kind of the whole point, was to get the ball rolling, keep it moving, and I hope it doesn't just stop. It shouldn't just stop after one mental health awareness day. I want the impact to just keep going. If maybe one person came by our table that feels inspired to take action in whatever organization they're involved in, that would be the best thing ever.
Veterans Day was on November 11th. MTN's Julian Huff and myself had the opportunity to interview Admiral Michelle J. Howard, the first African-American woman to command a U.S. Navy ship. Her lecture series talk, Essential to Innovation, Diversity, the Not-So-Secret Weapon, took place in Hall Auditorium later that Monday. I just want you to please tell us a little bit about yourself, if you could.
Sure. So I was in the Navy for 35 and a half years. I started in Annapolis when I was 18 and graduated in 1982. And then I was pretty fortunate. Ships opened up, support ships opened up to women while I was a midshipman. So I went straight to sea and stayed at sea. My first war was Desert Storm. I was on an ammunition ship. And then the combat exclusion law was repealed and I moved into amphibious ships. And then I commanded at the commander level, captain level, 1-star level, and then all the way up to the 4-star level. So I was the first woman from Annapolis to make the rank of 1-star. I also happened to be the first in my class to make the rank of 1-star. And I was in the 3rd-year group of women. And then after me, Sandy Daniels from the 1st-year group was the 2nd woman to make 1-star. And then as time went on, I made 2, 3, and 4-star. So I was the first African-American woman in the Navy to make the rank of 2, 3, and 4-star. The first African-American woman in the Armed Forces to make the rank of 3 and 4-star. I was the first woman to achieve the rank of 4-star in the Navy, and so far still the only woman to have held that rank. But more interestingly to me, when I became vice chief, I was the first woman to be the number 2 of a service, and for the Navy, I was the first minority to be the number 2 of the Navy, as well as the first woman to be the number 2.
All right, and then can you talk about what your lecture series will focus on tonight?
I've been asked to talk about diversity and inclusion, and obviously I've got my own pioneering journey in that area, and I'll try and share a few sea stories about that, and then exactly what it means to me and what I think is important in that area today.
We want to thank you for coming on to Miami Television News. I'm Julian Huff.
And I'm Cache Roberts.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
On Saturday mornings, Oxford is bustling with vendors and shoppers alike. Local businesses bringing a variety of products ranging from handmade crafts to organic produce. MT and Stephanie Colby had the opportunity to spend her Saturday at the farmers market.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Colby, and we are here in Uptown Oxford at the farmers market. So I am here with Aiden Kuhn, uptown at the farmers market. Aiden, what influences you to come to the local farmers market instead of just shopping at Kroger?
Well, I mean, I like that I'm supporting local farms and businesses, because if people weren't out here buying this kind of stuff like every weekend, then I don't know. It just it's a good way to help boost these people's profits and make sure that they can continue doing this.
And what is your favorite thing to buy at the farmers market?
I love me some apple cider.
Hi, my name is Craig Harkrider. I'm with Stony Hedgerow Farm. We're located in southern Preble County, just about 3 miles west of Camden.
How many months out of the year are you farming?
Oh, nearly 10 months out of the year, and we actually grow year-round in at least one high tunnel. So technically, I guess you could say we're 12 months, because there's a little bit of maintenance and watering that occurs even through the midwinter.
How many different types of produce do you grow throughout the year?
Wow. We specialize in several signature crops, so every spring I do tomato plants, pepper plants, and now a few eggplants. And we're talking in a range of about 2,500 to 3,000 plants, so it's not a small amount there. And then we'll transition into tomatoes and peppers and eggplants as a main season produce. Also garlic is another one of our signature crops. Now we'll have some other things too. We'll have some cucumbers, we'll have some zucchini squashes and summer squashes, we'll have a few greens, and over winter I will have kale, spinach, green onions, and a few other things will be mixed in. But we don't grow every vegetable. I also work full-time off farm, and there's just only so many things you can do.
How has the changing of Ohio's weather impacted your farming?
It has become a trend that we have a much hotter, drier period in midsummer, and so irrigation has become necessary, very much necessary. So I tend to use drip irrigation lines, and that has worked very successfully. We also tend to see sometimes a little bit longer season, but things can get a little bit more crazy as far as late frost or early frost or things like that. So it is a very variable, but I guess the big thing is just plan for it with protection and irrigation.
What do you do in the transition period between changing crops?
Ooh, well, see, for example, right now we had a hard freeze on Thursday evening, so we've, as you can see from our table, had to pick everything. And so in my case, I've tried to stage my winter crops in areas that these crops, peppers, tomatoes, and things, were not growing in. For other times, I will try to have transplants ready to go, so I'll pull out a crop and then put in a crop immediately. Have things already kind of pre-staged, more advanced stage, so that I can not have a lag time. The tomato plants will go into early June, and that takes up a lot of space, but then I try to have transplants ready to go into the space the tomato plants were in immediately and go from there. So it's just anticipating the transition and having the next crop ready to go into the space.
Perfect. Thank you so much for speaking with Miami Television News.
Glad to do it.
Up Fashion is an on-campus student-ran fashion magazine and had their semesterly magazine release party Friday, November 15th from 8 to 10 p.m. at Brick Street. Please welcome Cache Roberts catching up with the directors of event planning, Alex and Cora.
Okay, thanks so much, guys, for being with me. We have with me Alex and Cora.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes, can you guys please tell me a little bit about the issue?
Yeah, so the issue, as you guys already know, is In Living Color. And so what we wanted to do with this issue was celebrate individuals and kind of celebrate the individuals that are pushing the status quo. With this issue, it's kind of more, we were actually inspired by Wes Anderson and that creative pop and kind of that pop of color. So we're really excited for not only the diversity of it, but just how different it is from the other issues.
Wow. All right, and then what makes this issue different from the past issues that Miami has seen?
Yeah, that's a great question.
I think this issue is way more professional and groundbreaking. We were really editorial in our approaches, and I think that just gave the whole issue an overall high fashion look, and it worked really well with the theme In Living Color.
Absolutely, and I mean, to go off what she said is we've actually worked on, like, the collaboration has just been just immensely, just much more visible in this issue. And, you know, me and Cora have worked with the videographers this time to get a really good video to play as kind of a countdown for the release party, as you guys again saw if you went to the release party on Friday. So it was just really cool to see everybody working in their individual spaces and coming together to make this beautiful magazine.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then how long have you both been in the organization?
I've been in the organization for 2 years, and I've been the director, event planning director, for the last 4 semesters.
Wow, and what about you?
This is my first semester working as an event director, but I've been in the organization for 3 years. This is my 3rd year. Yeah.
Wow, so how does it feel being a part of one of the biggest organizations on campus? Because Up does have that rep, you know? Like everyone's like, that's Up, you know? It has a really big rep. So how does it feel like, you know, being a part of it, you know?
I mean, I just think it's really cool that we get to create something that's so real and tangible, and something that is looked at as, you know, when I first saw the magazine when I was a freshman, I was like, is this something that we did, or is this something that is coming in from Cincinnati? And so to actually see the behind the scenes kind of work of it is just even more rewarding, and to be part of, you know, it from, you know, that first meeting when the theme is revealed to seeing it on the table at Brick or wherever we're having the release party is, it's just so rewarding to have people know, like, oh my God, Up is really professional and getting their stuff together. So like, it's awesome.
I think it definitely means something to say you're in Up. It makes me really proud when I see all the content that's being produced. Like, I really just think it's so professional, and it's a great thing.
Yes. Great. For me, like, I also blog for Up, so it's an amazing thing. It's been an amazing journey, but the hardest thing I find is like coming up with ideas that are original. So what would you guys say are the hardest things of event planning for Up? What would be the hardest?
I think it changes by the issue, because you know, you want to make a release party that kind of goes along with the theme of the issue, but it has never been done before, and it's kind of pushing the boundaries. So I think it's really finding that fine line of, you know, you don't want it to look exactly like the magazine, because, you know, let's be honest, it's hard to make Brick or 1868 into this huge Met Gala that you would love for it to be, but it's really defining that fine line. What about for you? I mean, it's your first year doing this, so what do you think has been?
How exciting.
Yeah, no, it's definitely been difficult, like he said, making the theme come to life, especially in little aspects. You only have so much to work with in Brick. You only have so many decorations. You only have so many things you can hang on a brick wall. Just like a little story, like my first issue, our biggest thing was our centerpieces. Yeah. This issue is so abstract, In Living Color. It's so editorial. It's so high fashion. And we were like, oh, we don't want it to look like a birthday party with all the rainbow colors. And we were like, but we don't want it to look like a wedding with just flowers. So yeah, we definitely finally locked something down that we were really proud of. And it was awesome. It was a great feeling. That was one of the most rewarding things for me, is when we were making the centerpieces and they finally turned down. And I was like, this is something I'm proud of. And I feel like it's representative of the issue.
Wow, this sounds like a process.
Yeah.
So what can we expect to see at this theme party?
Oh man.
In terms of like food, you know, like, because I know you guys are known for a good drink, like a nice little Brick like signature drink.
Yeah.
So what can we expect to see at this party?
So as far as, you will expect, I mean, to have, basically we're gonna have an Up drink that is a vodka soda with lime juice, and you get like a little rock candy inside of it, and so it kind of goes with the whole In Living Color. the Polaroid photographers walking around will take your pictures, and you get to keep that with you, so kind of just make it more interactive. We have contests, we have games, we have awards, or excuse me, what is that called? Rewards. Yeah, rewards. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, prizes.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, prizes. Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay,
kind of
okay,
like that. And then what we're really excited for is
I think our biggest thing is usually when you come into our release parties, we have the magazines already laid out. People can walk right in, see the theme reveal. This time, like he said, we were working with the videography team. We are doing an actual release right at 9 p.m. So this party starts at 8. Come 9 p.m., we're gonna release all the magazines, do a big countdown, you know, really make it something to like
New York.
Exactly.
Get excited
Something to look
about.
forward to,
Yeah,
you know?
For sure.
So, I mean, I'm excited for it. It's going to be a great event, and I mean, the monochromatic is really going to add to the pop of color, and that's what we really wanted to do.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, and my final question, what do you guys expect, or what can we expect to see from the future of a magazine?
Go ahead.
I really think we're gonna keep striving for that editorial high fashion look. Obviously it's gonna vary theme to theme, but I really think as much as we collaborated on this issue, that's gonna be a trend that continues through every theme. And so definitely just like more new things, groundbreaking, you know, we wanna keep making something that people can be proud of to say they're an up.
Yeah, and I mean, to go off that, just continue to grow the magazine. I feel like every year we just keep on getting bigger and bigger, but along with that, just increasing the diversity within our magazine. And I think that's one of the most important aspects about it, is that we're really increasing the diversity.
Well, I am super excited about the launch of this magazine, and thank you so much, guys, again, for being able to talk to MTN about it. And back to you guys.
Thank you, Cache. Please welcome Allie McVan with MTN's Word of the Day.
This month's word is sonder, which is defined as the realization that each random passerby is living a life as vivid and complex as your own. An example of sonder used in a sentence could be, he looks on in sonder at the street below, dotted with strangers he'll never hear the stories of.
Well, that's all we have for you today. Thank you for tuning in to our final show of the semester, and make sure you check back with us in February for some more content. I'm Cache Roberts.
And I'm Zoltan Feldman. Good luck on your finals, Miami, and be sure to follow us on social media at Miami MTN.